Hey guys, GaleForce Online here to bring you another one of my trash builds. Now this is an Argonian werewolf tank. Since the Greymoor patch, werewolf tanking has actually become a thing. So it's really good. They finally made the set adjustments that makes this possible. Alright, take a look over the stats. So 34k max health, sitting at about 25k spell and physical resistance unbuffed. So activating that buff to push it up to about 32k, or sorry, 33k on both sides. And also once the werewolf transformation happens, we'll probably push that up to about 35k. Alright, take a look at the item sets. So starting at the top, Sword of Tormentor. So Tormentor is what makes this possible. So if you deal direct damage with a charge, leap, teleport or pull ability, you gain resistance, and you also taunt the enemy for 15 seconds. So instead of having the traditional taunt, you can actually use this to taunt, and it also makes AoE taunting a possibility. If you look at the explosive charge skill from the Templar skill line, this actually impales all enemies in the area, dealing magic damage, and that will actually taunt multiple targets. I don't have the dummies to show you guys this, but just take my word on it. See the charge happen, you look at the debuff, the taunt is active. Alright, continuing on, I use the Shield of the Dragon. The main reason I use this is to reduce the ultimate cost, so having to transform into a werewolf would cost a lot less. Ice Staff of Deathwind is just in case I need to swap onto my back bar, increases my armor by a little bit. Not really a go-to for this one, I'll be staying on the main bar or on werewolf transformation for most of it. Then monster sets, so I just picked 2 monster sets that increase my stamina, just to have some more utility while as a werewolf. Even with the new skills, running out of stamina is still an issue if you're not specifically spec'd for it. Alright, so those are the set setup. Let's take a look at the skills. So on the front bar, still have the range taunt there in case I can't do the charge taunt. From the Undaunted skill line, deals some damage. It also has a synergy, so ally can activate the synergy and restore some resources from their passives, and also deal some damage at the same time. Channeled Focus increases my physical and spell resistance by 5280, and then 50% on top of that, so it's about 7000 total. So the reason I use this is that I can keep my normal resistances very low, so when I transform I don't have to worry about having to go way over the cap. So even in a werewolf transformation, sitting at about 35k resistances. Then the Bone Shield from the Undaunted skill line, a Stamina Shield, grants me a damage shield for 10k, and also releases a synergy that allies can activate. Explosive Charge, main reason I use this is an AoE taunt, so any enemies in a small area there will be taunted at the same time. And then Ritual of Rebirth, which is just a self-heal that I use on myself. Not very powerful self-heal, but can get you out of bad situations sometimes. And then the Werewolf transformation, the one I picked is Pack Leader. So while I'm transformed, increase the max stamina by 30%. Also take 10% less damage, which is really nice for a tank. Summon 2 direwolves. Now the direwolves can't be targeted by enemies anymore since the last patch, so that's a bit of a shame there, as would have provided extra targets. But the new buff they added to it is all the allies gain minor courage, increasing the weapon and spell damage. Also just having this ability slotted increases my stamina recovery by 15%. Now looking on the back bar, this is mostly just support. If I run through, or if I need to help somebody else through as an alt tank, because that's predominantly what this build was. Mythic Guard, just to share damage with a main tank from the support skill line. Radiant Aura, which applies minor Magicka Steel to all enemies in the area. And Sanguine Altar from the Undaunted skill line, just applies minor lifesteal to all enemies in the area. And then just the Ritual of Rebirth, which is my self-heal, and also Aggressive Warhorn in case I don't want to go into Werewolf transformation and more support the group. Then I'll definitely pop this off to increase their max magicka and max stamina by 10%, and also granted them Major Force, increasing their critical damage by 15%. Alright, look at the werewolf skills that I'm using. First one is the Howl of Despair, deals a nice bit of physical damage there, and also takes 10% more damage if I'm facing towards the enemy. Also activates a synergy so allies can activate it, which grants them empowered for 5 seconds, which is really nice for damage dealers who weave light attacks through their rotations. Claws of Life, this is an AoE skill. Does some damage over time. It does, I think from the new patch, it has an additional skill on top of that, so when you activate it, you can actually activate another skill afterwards. Deafening Roar, so this is your CC you use as a tank. So standing in close quarters, you activate this ability and it stuns all the targets in the area. Also applies Major Fracture and Major Maim, reducing their resistances and their damage done by 15%. So this is very good for group utility, where it reduces the damage done by enemies and makes you more survivable. Also, this morph increases my weapon critical by 2,191, which is about 10%. So not bad to have if you're trying to pull out some damage. Then Brutal Pounce, so this is a skill we'll be using to taunt the enemies who are tanking. So standing a bit out of range also increases the time you can spend as a werewolf. As you can see the stats there. And then Herstein's Rage. Now this one actually had a buff as well for the Greymoor patch. So now it automatically grants Major Brutality, increasing your weapon damage where previously you had to proc it. And also if you're at full health and you use this ability, you restore 3000 stamina at the cost of magicka. And also increases your damage done by 25% for 6 seconds. Now that is a massive boost to damage, and I'm pretty sure they'll be nerfing it sometime soon, so use it while you guys can. But you also take that 20% more damage, so be careful when using this while you're tanking, because that 20% damage can definitely make a difference. Alright, so normal tanking is as you have your range taunts, you have your buffs, you have your shield, and then charge, which also taunts as well. And then going into werewolf. See there, taunt is refresh. Show you guys again. Taunt is refresh. And then just run through your damage rotation. Alright, thanks for listening guys. This is Scale Force Online. If you have any suggestions for builds for me to do in the future, let me know in the comments below. If you like the content that I'm putting out, please hit that like and subscribe. Alright, take care and be safe. Bye.